Okay, so today we're going to be doing a video on F1 2022 using the RTX 3080. We're running a Ryzen 5900X with 64 GB of RAM running at 3200 MHz. Alright, let's remove the settings. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p on the low preset. Alright, there we go. 1080p low settings. We're going to be absolutely getting CPU bottlenecked. Yeah. Only using 50% of our GPU. Not surprised one bit. This is gonna be such a annoying corner to get around with all these cars around me. Get away from me. Getting 250 to 240 FPS. Seems very similar to sorry. Seems very similar to the performance that we were getting with the 3060 Ti on F1 2021 with a 3700X, right? I think this was I think we're getting similar FPS to that, but I could be wrong because this is a better CPU, so I don't know. I could be just completely wrong. I won't be spending too much time on the low presets. I'll just be driving around quickly just to give you an idea on how it's gonna run. And thank you guys for 700 subs. We hit it a couple of hours ago, I think. So yeah, thank you guys for the huge support that you've been giving the channel. And if you're new here and you like the content, make sure to subscribe because we are on our way to get 800 subs now. Increase the overlay size at 1440p. Getting 260. I mean, obviously it's going to be the same performance since we weren't GPU bound at 1080p, and at 1440p we just gained pretty much 10 to 15% on our GPU. So obviously we're still going to be, obviously our GPU is still going to be getting bottlenecked by most likely our CPU. We're getting 280 FPS. Almost crashed because I was looking at the FPS counter there. The game looks very similar to F1 2021 and looks pretty good still though. I gotta say it does look very good, but the game itself doesn't look too different than 2021 so far. Guess we might see at the top end, you know, at the ultra presets, if it does look better or not. Here we go. Had to restart the game because it didn't want to stay at 4K. But now we're playing the game at 4K settings. GPU's fully maxed out at the low. Okay, this guy's just ramming me. It's not even. It's not okay. GPU is fully maxed out, getting around 200 FPS, very close to 200 FPS. This game has a problem, which wasn't in F1 2021. On a fresh boot, the audio cuts out every like 1 second, 1 or 2 seconds. The audio just cuts out and cuts back in. It's so bad. And it was happening in game as well. I just had to restart it a couple times for it to fix itself. But in the menus and all that, you can't fix it. It keeps happening. The audio just stutters like crazy. The game itself is running very smooth, as you would expect for the 3080. No lagging, no stuttering at all on any other resolution so far. I might try out VR as well because it does have VR support. I don't think F1 2021 had VR support. So it might be a first for the series. So I'll definitely be trying it out. Alright, playing at medium settings now. These are the settings that we're playing on. I'm not gonna touch anything yet because there's too many options to look through. And I'm gonna keep it by default. Okay. Medium settings, 1080p. Here we go. Oh, the game looks. Oh, there you go. There's the audio. There, I got distracted. There's the audio cutting in and cutting out. It's so buggy. I just paused the game, changed the settings, and it's doing it again. Hopefully they fixed it. The game isn't out yet. The thing comes out in two or 3 days. So there might be a day one patch that will fix all this. Oh, there we go. It's fixed itself now. Only took a couple of minutes. Now the shadows under the car look a bit pixelated, but the game itself, the atmosphere feels a lot better on medium settings. I don't know why. Probably the extra reflections and shadows, but the game does feel better. It doesn't feel better, it just, yeah, it looks better, even though it's running at low resolution. Playing at medium settings, 1440p. Oh yeah, the game looks real good now. Still not GPU bound. GPU sitting in the high 70s to 80s. I think on low settings we were sitting at the 60s, the mid 60s. Oh, we can go pit. I'm good though, we're gonna keep going. Oh damn, is the battery running low? I didn't even check. Okay, we can make it one lap, surely. Wow, okay, playing at medium settings 4K now, right? I totally forgot what resolution we were playing on, but 4K settings, FPS is very similar to what we had before. We're getting 200 FPS, I believe. I kind of forgot, but FPS is still very good. We're sitting in the 170s to 180s. The next round I'm going to pit in, I think. Alright, playing at 1080p high settings. Oh, we have ray tracing as well. I see, I see. It's got quality enabled for ray tracing, but it doesn't actually have it enabled at all. Okay, at ultra settings, I'll actually enable ray tracing as well. I didn't realize the game had it. I knew it had it on the other game, but I kinda... It's been a while. Okay. 1080p high settings, here we go. GPU is being pushed up into the 70s now instead of 60s. So every preset, we're jumping up by 10% at 1080p. Same with 1440p as well, I guess. And 4K, we were already fully maxed out at those settings, so... Let's go ahead and pit. VRAM is sitting at 6 gigabytes, and our normal system RAM is sitting at 12 gigabytes, so... Not bad at all, it's very efficient. I guess on the VRAM side of things, it's not too efficient. This is sitting at 6 gigs. At 1080p high settings, so... Yeah, not too efficient there, I guess. 1440p high settings. Oh, the game looks so good now. Maybe it's the lighting of this map or time of day, but the game does look really good at high settings. It's not a huge jump between low and high, but the game definitely does look better. FPS as well. Oh, GPU's almost fully maxed out. It's getting very close now. We're sitting in the high 90s, so doing good. FPS is doing fantastic in the 220s to 210s. Oh, is that it? Okay, that's it, I guess. And one thing that I did with F1 2021 was that let me turn the audio down, it's too loud. One thing that I did with F1 2021 that I'm gonna do again in this game is testing dry versus like a rainy day to see what the performance impact is. But instead of doing it with every single preset in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and just play at ultra settings, 4K, everything cranked up. Alright, 4K, here we go. Dude is just okay. I should have looked at my mirror there. That's my bad. 4K. Wow, we're actually playing at 140 FPS now. We were sitting in the 170s before, so we've dropped by 40 FPS by playing at high settings. But either way, still getting over 100 FPS, so it's a very good experience. And game's still running very fluid, very nice. There's no lagginess or FPS drops that I can feel. Playing at ultra high settings, it's actually got ray tracing enabled now, so this will be very taxing on our GPU. Let's see how it runs. This will be very interesting. Okay, getting 120 FPS. So we went from being CPU bottleneck, GPU sitting at 70%, still pushing 230 FPS or something like that, to only 120 FPS. But we get ray tracing. Everything is cranked up to its max setting. Game still feels very smooth as well, I gotta say. We're getting 120 FPS, but still feels fantastic. And if you disabled all the ray tracing stuff, I guarantee you'll be back up to the 150s, 170s, 200s, you know? But either way, the game still runs great. Oh, this game looks so good. Oh, okay, this looks really good. Ray tracing, ultra settings 2040p, this looks good. I like it. Okay, I lied about the shadow thing. It's happening way more now at 1440p compared to 1080p. Way more noticeable. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's definitely there. Getting 90 FPS, 80 to 90 FPS. So I'm pretty sure once we play on a rainy day, we're going to be dropping down to the 60s at 1440p. And at 4K, we're going to be playing at 60 FPS on a dry day, so still very playable, obviously, but I think 4K ultra high with ray tracing might be out of the question if you plan on playing on rainy days. That's just a guess. We'll see if that's actually true. It's laggy already. Okay, we're getting 30 FPS. Oh. The turning feels a bit laggy right now. Honestly, not that bad. I gotta say, 40 FPS, not too laggy. Feels fine. Turning feels delayed now. There's a delay when I turn and when the car actually pulls. I thought we were gonna be playing at 60 FPS, but VRAM sitting at 9 gigs. Oh, we're pretty much maxed out now. We have a gig left. This card really needed like 12 gigabytes. I guess they added it later on, but originally needed to have 12 gigabytes. Okay, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and actually disable ray tracing just to see what FPS, what kind of FPS we can get without it. So let's go ahead and disable it. Ray tracing is disabled now, and okay. Alright, I disabled ray tracing and we're getting over 100 FPS still. There you go. So that just shows how taxing ray tracing is, especially at the ultra high preset. We have gained over 100 FPS pretty much. Over 100 to 90 FPS by disabling ray tracing. Game feels much more fluid, much more responsive as well. Okay, here we go. Rainy day. Playing at 4K ultra high settings without ray tracing, we've actually dropped by 30 FPS. Okay, I didn't engage the clutch, I'm trolling. I was looking at the FPS. So yeah, we actually dropped 30 FPS by actually playing on a rainy weather. The brakes aren't warmed up, so that's awesome. Just can't brake. Look at me, warning. What did I do? I'm racing criminally. Okay, interesting. Still feels very smooth. Oh, the brakes aren't doing well, as you would expect. I can't see a thing. Oh, I'm sliding. 10 to 20 FPS decrease by playing on a rainy day. Let's go ahead and actually enable ray tracing. This will tank our FPS to like 15 probably. Okay. Whoa, this is so laggy. Oh, this looks so good though. Holy, this looks good. Oh, ray tracing looks awesome with the rain. What's our FPS? 40? It's actually not affected too much. It's doing very similar to what it was before. And you know what? I forgot to use DLSS. I'm gonna actually enable DLSS. This is a good time to actually enable DLSS and see how much of an FPS bump we can get with it. Alright, playing using NVIDIA DLSS at the quality preset. We've gained 7 FPS. Oh, well there we go, 66 FPS. It just took some time to catch up. 60 FPS now locked with heavy rain and ray tracing as well. So basically all you need to do is play at quality DLSS to have a locked 60 FPS if you want to max everything out, and play at 4K. Now we can go ahead and drop our DLSS quality down to balance the performance to get more of an FPS headroom, but I guess we'll see how it looks. Sometimes, oh, I wasn't looking. Right, let's look at a wheel after that. Playing with balanced DLSS, the game looks identical to what it did before. Same with quality. They both look really good. Can't really tell that I'm using DLSS. And FPS is sitting in the 80s now, so a 20 FPS gain, but dropping down to balance. Not as big of a jump as I was expecting, but I guess it is what it is with ray tracing. You will have to sacrifice some FPS. Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a like and subscribe if you highly appreciate it. See you next time.